Hey, it's Holiday with you on the Snake. Want to give you a little bit of a heads up on the Windows Creators Update. This isn't the update that's officially going to be released next Tuesday on April the 11th, but you can go get it now. So if you want to try this ahead of time, I'll leave a link in the description. Again, use that as your own risk. It is the official update from Microsoft, so this isn't beta. You don't have to be on the Windows Insider program to get it. All you do is you go to the link that I'll leave in the description. You go basically to the Microsoft website. You're going to see a message here that's going to say, "We notice you are running an old version of Windows 10. Do you want to update?" And you click the update now, and that's going to basically bring up a download tool or a Windows upgrade tool for whatever that's worth. You're going to want to run that bad boy, and that'll walk you through updating to the creators version. For me, it took maybe 15, 20 minutes, something like that, nothing major. I didn't have to do any weird updates to drivers. There is a new Nvidia driver which you'll need to update, but again, I updated. I didn't have any problems. I ran a few games last night. I had no issues, but I did go ahead and do the update like Nvidia asked. And so far, the Creators Update has been totally stable on my MSI GS63 VR, the Skylake version. But again, your mileage may vary, so if you do this update before the official release next Tuesday, you do it at your own risk. Okay, I will admit now I've only had a little bit less than a day to mess around with the Creators Update of Windows 10, but there are some different things I have found in basically what amounts to the settings/control panel. This is stupid, but there is a brand new icon in the update status when you do the check for updates thing. That's not a big deal, so who cares about that? Some of the more interesting things you're going to find come under gaming. And if you do that, you're going to basically see a bunch of options for the game bar, whether or not you want to use that stupid thing when you launch games. Who cares about that? There are different settings under the game DVR that you can mess around with, which is kind of interesting. And then there is the game mode, which you are probably very much aware of because Microsoft kind of made a big deal of it when they were talking about the Creators Update. That is going to be on by default. Most of the benchmark sites that I've seen that talk about this say they really can't detect much of a difference at all as far as frame rate. What this is supposed to do, it's supposed to allocate more of your system resources to CPU, GPU usage as far as when you launch a game. I, again, really couldn't tell much of a difference. I guess the more the better, right? But that is going to be one of the main things you're going to hear about this Creators Update from Windows as far as whether or not that makes a difference or not. I also noticed some different options under notifications and actions. It lets you basically move around some of the quick actions. Not something I use, but if you do, be aware of it. Under storage, maybe this was in the prior settings. I don't remember seeing it, but when you basically tell Windows to clean itself up and remove temporary files, there's now a setting for that called Storage Sense under the storage option in settings. Then there may be a few new things under the shared experiences projecting to this PC, tablet mode, which I have no use for, and things like that. The power and sleep looks exactly the same. Maybe a little bit more information under the battery mode now, but nothing big. One thing that is new to the Creators Update of Windows, and really all this amounts to, is shortcuts to launching the troubleshooter for different issues you may be having with your machine, as far as internet connections, audio. There is a blue screen troubleshooter now, which is pretty interesting. That I could probably see being useful for more than one of you. And then some more options under the Developers tab in Settings if you are an actual software creator, etc. One thing you may notice under the Windows settings is that Apps now has its own tab. Used to be the default apps, you'd find that under your system settings. Now Apps has its own space where you've got apps and features. You've got default apps. This is where you're going to want to move, change some of your defaults, whether it's web browser or whatever. Offline maps. There's also apps for websites, which is kind of interesting. It doesn't seem like Microsoft is really doing much with that at this point, but we'll see where that goes. So that's definitely different under the Creators Update. One thing to be aware of if you decide to go ahead and go forward with the Creators Update, Nvidia, if you have an Nvidia card, they did release a driver today that they recommend you use with the Creators Update. It's the 381.65 update. I didn't notice any weirdness last night before they actually released this with the new Windows Update, but a good idea if you do have an Nvidia card, go grab this bad boy, and I'll have a link to it also in the descriptions if you're looking for it. All right, so that's basically the Cliff Notes version of the Windows 10 Creator Update. Again, I haven't really seen any instability. I know there were some issues when they initially released the anniversary update a few months ago. So far, no weirdness, and really the only driver that I've updated is my Nvidia driver, and that's not because of any problems. That's just because Nvidia said it was a good idea. So again, if you want to try this Creators Update ahead of time before next Tuesday, we've got the link in the description. And if you have any questions, as always, leave it in the comments below, and I'll answer as quick as I can. Thanks as always. Have a great one.